Welcome back to Power On Weekly for the week of February 1st through the 7th. My name is Irving Legend. I am your host. Joining me this week for Power On Weekly is Justin Brave Knight Shields. Justin, welcome to the show. Sorry.
No, you're fine. It's all good. How's it going? Salutations. It's me, your boy.
It's you, the boy. Aly will be joining us later on for Power On Weekly, but we have to talk Mass Effect first. And being a fellow Mass Effect fan, I figured the best person to bring on would be you. Justin, would you say you're a big fan?
Yeah,
Yeah,
most definitely. And not only me, my dad, but Mass Effect is just huge for both of us in general. So
awesome. Did you guys play the game together? What the entire legacy or collection?
we played every single game together. Yeah.
And do you think you guys will play this game again?
I think so. Actually, because my dad has ventured into gaming on his own.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna get the game for him to play on his own.
That'd be great.
He's starting to adapt. So
Awesome. Get him a
Yeah.
Series X. Get him.
yeah, the whole shebang. You know, why not get it all?
Yeah, might as well. Yeah. So obviously this week we're going to talk about Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which was announced on February 2nd. Groundhog's Day not only gave us 6 more weeks of winter, but it also gave us Mass Effect. I obviously am a huge Mass Effect fan, so this was really great news for me. The game is coming out May 14th for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. Obviously, you can also play these games on Xbox Series as well as PlayStation 5. But these games are still running on Unreal Engine 3, and they're just Xbox One and PS4 edition. So they're pretty much what we're got, similar to right now with Cyberpunk. Justin, does that make you nervous, or like what do you think about that?
I mean, without a doubt, it does. Especially when you bring into play that the scenario is very similar to Cyberpunk's. Obviously, it's not going to be the same because it's already an established game.
Yeah.
But just that premise alone, of course, makes me nervous for a few things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we should have the same expectations as Cyber, like, because like you said, these games are already established. They're literally just up-reses, basically.
Exactly.
But at the same time, the reason why they didn't bring it up to Unreal Engine 4 or even the new Unreal Engine 5 is because that would take way too much development. And that's actually something that is very relevant in a lot of these reasonings why, like certain things we'll get into in just a bit. But time and manpower was a big reason why a lot of these things aren't happening. And that being bringing it towards Unreal Engine 4 and some other things that we've got later on. But what will come to the game is 4K, 60 frames per second on both the consoles, uncapped on PC. You get 3 games, Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. You get all the promo weapons, armors, and packs. So the Dragon Age armor in Mass Effect 3, you'll still get all those, pre-order bundles that you would get from GameStop and everything. You would get here as well. And you also get 40 DLCs across all games. There's one DLC that won't be included in this, but we'll get to that in just a bit. How does all of that sound to you, Justin?
I mean, it sounds fantastic. But when you it really puts it into perspective when you say 40 DLCs across it all, because I don't even playing the game as much as I did, it just didn't feel like that much. So it kind of really puts things into perspective.
For sure.
So yeah, absolutely, I'm excited for that.
Did you play a lot of the DLCs, or like myself? I played only a handful of them, but I did miss out on like a couple. So for me, this is exciting because now I'll be able to play it all in one go, as opposed to how I kind of sporadically did it when I first played it. Did you play all the DLCs?
I would say my experience was pretty similar to yours. Like me and my dad, once we're finished with the game, we don't really come back to it, even if a DLC is given to it afterwards.
Yeah.
So we did it for a few, but we definitely didn't play all of them. So I would say my excitement is along the same level as yours in that field.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Did you play as a renegade or Paragon?
Oh, I always go Paragon first. Yeah. I'm always the good guy. Nobody wants to be an asshole.
No.
You know what I mean?
Only if you want to look really crazy with the cracks and everything in Mass Effect 2.
Yeah.
I as well did. I did a few renegade things just to be spiteful. Like I punched a reporter.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Like even when I go renegade, I'm like, I'm gonna be bad this time. Yeah. And then you do one thing and you're like, that's pretty mean. I think I'm gonna do maybe just a few nice things. Maybe I'll mix it up.
I've changed my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to do a full Renegade playthrough because you're just not a nice person. And for us, we're genuinely nice people. And
Yeah.
like I have so much guilt even in a video game of just doing like really bad things. I'll do some spiteful things and some things that I find funny, like punching a reporter in the face, or knocking out like a guy with a wrench, in the Mass Effect 2 Archangel mission specifically. But yeah, FemShep is getting her update from Mass Effect 3, which is great. It's long overdue for sure. Gives a lot of justice towards that character model. Commander Shepard male, he had pretty much his entire face model, like the standard Shepard, like across all games. So it's good that Mass Effect 3's version of FemShep gets that same treatment for this coming up. What's it called?
Yeah, I think she definitely became a lot more popular than they anticipated. Which you can tell if you look at the previous model. She's looking rough around the edges compared to the male Shepard. But even him, like in his new design, it looks like he just put a lot of blush on. Like it's the same design, but he just put a little blush, a little touch up.
For sure. Also announced was Mass Effect Legendary Cache, which is it's basically a collector's edition, but you don't get the game. $150, but you don't get the game. How do you feel about that?
I mean, come on, dude. Are you serious with that? No game? It's a scam. It's a scam. I'm sorry, but like, how are you not going to include the game in there? If it had the game, there would be no question in my mind. I would get this. I would get this cache, but it's like the game is so integral to the whole thing. I'm just like, yeah, no thanks.
They should have like at least two versions, because I can see for people who are like I will get into this, but I want to get this, but I don't want to get the trilogy, and I'll for my reasons later on, but I want this set. And for me, I'm like, like if I didn't want to get the legendary edition, I'd be like, I'd drop it $150 so I can wear a N7 replica helmet. It's 1-to-1 scale too. It's not like the Halo 3 cat helmet that you could get.
Oh no. Oh no, don't bring me back.
So it comes with a morality spinner pin, key art steel case, the replica helmet 1-to-1, a canvas art, which is beautiful. It's of the Normandy, and an N7 letter of acceptance is just like a really nice, like, authenticity, whatever. $150. It doesn't include the game. So this all for me seems good at face value. There are some things that aren't included in the game though. And this actually this made me sad. Mass Effect 3's multiplayer is not going to be included. Did you ever play the multiplayer?
I know. We've talked a couple times about it. I know you're huge about the multiplayer, but admittedly, I myself have never explored the multiplayer of Mass Effect 3.
Okay.
But you tell me all the time about how good it was.
It was really good. It had no reason to be that good, first of all, and it also tied into the actual like story progression. Like if you played more multiplayer, you had a better chance of getting a good ending. It actually impacted like the story more than people thought. And you can send out your like squad to just do it normally and just like in the background or whatever, but you actually taking part of it felt cool because it felt like you were contributing to the overall fight of the galaxy. Because at the end of Mass Effect 3 you have to like basically get a bunch of forces from all the races and everything and just build like a massive army, and part of the multiplayer kind of built that army basically. So it was really cool. I think it was really underrated. It actually has a huge following still to this day. There's people who still play it, and that in line comes the issue as to why they didn't include it in the game. It would take pretty much the same amount of time to develop that as this entire trilogy to bring it up to modern technology. To crossplay has to be a thing that they would have to do, right? Cross save for all those people who were playing, who are still playing from now, would have to somehow be included as well, and just like the quality of life updates as well. So the development for that would have taken so long that it basically would have taken the same amount of time that this has taken. And this has been in development since 2019. So that's one of the reasons why. Also not included in this is the Mass Effect Pinnacle Station DLC. This was in the original Mass Effect. one of the DLCs in there was corrupted, and when they brought it to PlayStation 3, they couldn't retrieve it at all. So it's literally just been lost. So they clearly couldn't have, got this corrupted data to add it to this collection. But yeah, so that's the only DLC that's not coming. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, it's just crazy to hear about the whole corruption issue in general, because it just seems like such a problem that like we as just players face, and not necessarily a development studio. So it's just so weird to think that even now to this day, that's not something they can really help. But
yeah. Now we all know what we really want to know, which is what are the changes to Mass Effect 1, right? Justin, were you a fan of the elevator rides in Mass Effect 1?
Dude, me and my dad had some of the best memories riding the elevator for 30 minutes. It was great. It was fantastic. It was
I was like, are you being serious?
It was hell. It was purgatory. Like, even my dad, like somebody who at that time we hadn't played a lot of games, he's like, okay, come on, what is this? Like, why is this going so slow?
There was some good dialogue in there, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. A lot of the stuff between Shepard and Rex were like some of my favorite things in the elevator scene. So
yeah, well, the elevator times have been drastically cut down to about 14 seconds. You can skip the elevator rides. In the original, they were close to a minute.
Oof, that's some Sonic 06 stuff going on there.
The dialogue is still available to listen. It's kind of shortened a little bit, but you can also listen to the dialogue and then skip the ride if you want to. So that's great. Especially when you're in the Normandy and you're like, even in the Normandy, like when you're going from like the top deck, like down to like all the way at the bottom. Ooh, man, you better grab some popcorn and a snack because you're going to be on that elevator for a while.
It's just like, it's so funny that you mentioned that, because that's like another specific thing that my dad pointed out. He's like, this is our ship. We're on this all of the time. Like the majority of the time we're on the ship. Why is the same problem persisting here? And I'm just like, Pops, I don't know. I'm just playing the game, So,
just be a humble gamer. What class did you go with when you're in your playthroughs of Mass Effect 1? Do you remember? There was like Sentinels, there was like a techie one, there was a soldier, there was like biotics, and
I definitely went the tanky route. What is the name?
Sentinel maybe, or
it Vanguard? It was Vanguard. Yeah. Almost every game I've gone Vanguard is my go-to class.
Cool. In the original Mass Effect, there were weapon based. The classes had certain weapons that they could specialize in. One of them, like the techie, you can literally only use a pistol. And the game has sniper rifles, pistols, shotguns, ARs, SMGs, basically. And obviously biotics and other tech things. But if you were playing as a techie, you can only use one of those things. And if you tried to use the other ones, you would get like really bad aim penalties, basically.
Oh, I remember.
Yes. Now they said no, none of that, because in Mass Effect 2 they changed it, thank God. But the only class that could also use ARs was the soldier class. So in my first playthrough, I played the soldier because you can pick any of the weapons. And for me, I didn't realize that this game was more RPG than anything. So for me, I was like, I'm just going to shoot my way through, not knowing that you can use biotics and everything like that. I did go Vanguard in ME2 and 3 because just being able to like punch into people, to shotgun them. Oh, that was so satisfying. And just using biotics in that game is so cool. So I might be able to explore a little bit more without feeling that like, I'm not taking advantage to the full potential of like the weaponry, but no more skill or class-based weapons are in here. You still can't put points into those weapons if you're based off your class. So you can only, put your skill points into pistols if you're a techie or the tech class. But you won't get penalties if you're using a sniper or a shotgun or something like that if it's not in your class.
Gotcha.
Which is great. And the Mako got some improvements. Our beloved Mako. We'd had some good times, some fun hijinks with that thing, but it has gotten some improvements, some new physics, a new control scheme. Feels a lot better as opposed to the floaty weightlessness of the original. it kind of had some charm though.
It does have charm, but it definitely felt more like you were piloting a boat on land. It was just the way that it rocked was just like obnoxious.
Did you played Andromeda, right?
Oh yeah.
Were you a fan of the Mako in there? Because it wasn't the Mako, it was something else, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was okay. It was definitely a huge change from the original, but
Yeah.
but I mean, I kind of liked that too. But there was just something about piloting the Mako in the original that just that it was missing. In
Yeah.
Andromeda. I don't know.
In Andromeda, you can switch between two different like drive modes. One would be like you go slower, but it's basically like not 4x4 because there's like six wheels, but like you would be able to like traverse higher up. But then there's like a speed mode, which is really cool. They did make this one a lot faster though in this game in Mass Effect 1.
Yeah, I was also gonna say that like part of the charm with the original Mako was it kind of felt like playing an Elder Scrolls game because you were just trying to force your way up these like really high places. Like, I can do this as long as I keep on using the jet thrusters over and over again. Like I can do this.
That's true. You could brute force your way through a lot of things, but solely based on like the fact that it was just really wonky and weightless, and it still holds a special place in my heart. But I'm glad that they're fixing it. They're also updating the UI, a more improved AI, by the way. So the Geth won't just be like literally overpowering you or literally just like not even doing anything. Boss encounters have been fixed as well as more quick save points. There was sections in the game where you would like have a quick save and then like you would do a long stretch of like nothing without saves, and then you get to a boss, and if you die there, you got to go all the way back. So I think that's great. Quality of your life changes, so I'm happy about that. Control schemes have been worked a little bit more to be more in line with Mass Effect 2 and 3. And then they changed some camera angles, Justin, on some conversations you would have with certain characters.
Yes. I'm part of the crusade on this subject.
Yes. Can we get an F in chat for Miranda's butt, please?
Yes.
Yeah, so in the original Mass Effect 2, there was a really obnoxious scene where everyone loved it, but it was obnoxious that you would literally, it was just Miranda's butt and Commander Shepard on the right side, and that's how you had the conversation with her. Obviously, it would change between them, but it was primarily focused on that, as well as there was another section where Commander Shepard was man spreading, and it was literally just a shot of his crotch. So those have been changed. They said that they didn't really age well, and at the time they weren't really thinking about that, but
yeah, but they totally knew what they were doing, and part of the pull of Mass Effect are like the relationships you can get into, right? So like when I was playing these games like that long ago, and I saw Miranda for the first time, I was like, how do I get with her? I want to get with Miranda.
Yeah, she's literally in the game. She's literally like the perfect like she was created to be perfect, basically.
Yeah, you could tell they spent an eternity on that booty. I'm just being honest.
Yeah. So yeah. Sorry, Miranda's butt. We won't be seeing you in the Mass Effect 1 or Mass Effect Legendary Edition remake. So with that being said, I'm not gonna buy it. So the question is. So these changes are just improvements to Mass Effect 1. This isn't a full-on remake or reboot like they did with Final Fantasy 7 or Resident Evil 2, which I always go to, but that's the best like example I can give. Now, at the same time, this isn't like an HD remake, basically, where they just slap a HDR on the visuals and call it a day. This is a really like polished version of this game. How do you feel about that though? Are you kind of bummed that this isn't like a full-on remake? Are you content with this, or?
I mean, honestly, of course I am, because I want this. I still plan on going back and re-experiencing all the games, but I would love for that to be something on the scale of like a Resident Evil 2, because my God, talk about a complete overhaul. So it just even though a huge focus of this is on Mass Effect 1, it's still at the end of the day, it's just like. They're just touch-ups, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's just like a little paint job. It's not something that's and like you said, they're spreading out a lot of this time that they have. They can't really focus on all these things so heavily when they got other things in the works. You know, they're They're still working on Anthem.
Are they?
Yeah, they're. Haven't you heard?
I've heard that there's a reboot of it.
Yeah, man, it's going great.
How's that coming along, Justin?
It's going great.
Fill us in on Anthem.
There's been so many changes to Anthem. It's like, wow, where do I even begin? No. They haven't done anything. And I realize there's different departments and different development teams, studios or whatever, but yeah. I joke, but it's just like, obviously they're spread thin. There's a lot of different things they're working on, and they can't focus all their time on just something like this.
For sure. Is that, and do you think that's why so what they said is they've been developing this since 2019, and there's a lot of ambitious things they could have done. They could have done a remake, right? Mm-hmm. They could have done a Resident Evil 2 style remake, but the team wanted to stay focused. They didn't want to get too ambitious. They didn't want to bite off more than they could chew, Cyberpunk. And they wanted to just make a good, like, HD remake upgrade for the fan base that loves these games, that hold these games like really close to their heart. Like us, we're huge fans. They didn't want to mess that up. That's fair because they have not had a good track record for a while.
No.
We had Andromeda, which didn't land so well. And then we had Anthem, which was a flat out disaster. So they need a win, right? They need some sort of like to fall into the good graces of their player base. And they need that's why they wanted to stay more focused on this. So then they can kind of build a little more hype. So then when the next Mass Effect comes out, the last thing you didn't remember wasn't Andromeda or Anthem. It was the Legacy Edition, right?
Right.
How do you feel about that? Like, do you think they're they've got something going, or do you think this will disappoint fans?
I mean, I think it's a really with the way you explained it, I think it's a really smart move on their part. I really do think it is. But I personally, and this comes with the pattern of a lot of development teams just announcing things pretty early, or just on the basis of people's hype behind a game. Like, and maybe it's unreasonable, but I would have rather them really just like given their all in this game and not said anything about it, and just kind of just later on just say, "Yo, you like Mass Effect, right? Look at what the hell we got. Look at what the hell we got cooked up." But like you said, there's a new Mass Effect game coming, and they want to put something in there for people to look at as a reference point before this one comes out and say, "Oh, hey, you know what? Yeah, I really did enjoy my time with Mass Effect." Because it's not just for us, the people that were big fans, but people who've never played this might even be playing this collection. You know what I mean?
Sure, 100%.
So yeah.
Yeah, I know. I mean, there's always a new generation of gamers, right? There's always a new generation, and I don't know, games that have like RPG games like Final Fantasy VII, and like to an extent Cyberpunk as well might invigorate that RPG want, right? And this will fill that need for the people who didn't experience this. And it's also, I think, the reason why I'm so focused on Mass Effect 1 having to be so good is because, and why I would have wanted a Resident Evil 2 style remake is because the biggest reason why a lot of people don't get into Mass Effect trilogy, the actual trilogy, is because 1 is so hard to get through, because it is so not unplayable, but just it's a slog, and the gunplay isn't great. And I mean, I don't know how many times I've tried to get Alyssa to play it, but she said she tried Mass Effect 1 for like 4 hours and could not get past the combat that sucks, because she missed out on so many cool things.
See, I'm different, because I loved Mass Effect 1. I really did. And honestly, Mass Effect 1 is the reason for my shotguns being my go-to. They felt so like stupid powerful in that game. Like you would just blow people back. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the time I had Mass Effect 1, but I could see why something like that, even now after a touch-up, could still be somewhat dated, because it just doesn't feel the same as the other two titles.
Yeah, because Mass Effect 1, the thing is, it's like I always go to like Mass Effect 1's gameplay and like combat wasn't great, but the story is phenomenal. Like it is, like, even on its own, if they didn't even do like a trilogy on its own, like by the end of it, you get a really satisfying conclusion to it with the whole spoilers, Reapers and Seraph and everything like that, or Saren. And the story is so good, and the lore is so good, and everything like that. But it just sucks that people don't get to experience that, because, to be honest, it feels dated, especially now when we have so many good games that have great combat. and good, like good combat in general, that feeling that clunkiness of it, and I can understand why people like kind of get torn, like, like, buy it. But yeah.
Did you play the second Mass Effect and never play the first one, or
No, I did. I played, so I tell the story. I don't know if I've said it on here, but I played the original Mass Effect. I beat it all, and then my brother got me Mass Effect 2 for my birthday. For some reason, I had deleted Mass Effect save, the original. And when I went to go play, when I went to go try to import it, it wasn't there, obviously, on my Xbox, because I somehow deleted it for some reason. I went back and played the original Mass Effect again. Having Mass Effect 2 in my hand, ready to play, I went back and made sure to play that game so I can carry over my save. Granted, that actually helped me out a lot, because then I knew exactly how, you go from one game into another, which is the benefit of this, by the way. You don't have years of like, oh, what happened in the other game? You could just go right into it. So that helped me out a lot. And then also I had played the game before, so I already knew the choices that I needed to make. And if I wanted to kind of focus on the story a little bit, I would take my time, but most of it I just kind of blasted right through. And I leveled up like crazy. And I did more side missions than I did normally on my first run. So I was pretty leveled up. Like, and when I brought it over to 2. So yes.
Well, I mean, I can see why you feel the way you do about 1 then, because it's like, I mean, if you have the excitement of having 2 literally in your hands, and you're like, I gotta play through the first one again, so that I can really take in all of this. Like, I could see why you would feel that way. I just have a different experience with it, because like, and this was when I was going out to like New Orleans to live with my uncle for a summer. He had a friend out there who played a lot of video games, and he's like, "Oh, it was just really random." He's like, "Have you played Mass Effect?" And I was like, "I don't know what that is." And he's like, "You've never heard of it or anything?" I was like, "No." And he's like, "Dude, take this. You can have it. Just play this game." Like, it was the first Mass Effect, and so like, I don't know. Even though it's a bit dated, like the first Mass Effect is just like huge to me. Like, it was. I was instantly taken into that whole world. So, but like I said, in your situation, I could see why it would be a bit rough.
Yeah. And, having to experience that game in all its bugginess and its terrible frames and the clunkiness of it, and then going to Mass Effect 2 and having that smooth, like, the cover shooting. Because around that time, especially Mass Effect 1, that's when like Gears of War came out, and Gears of War's cover system and their shooting is so good. No game has ever been able to do the same thing that they did. And not that like Mass Effect was going to be the next Gears of War, but like they try to do a similar, combat style with like the, behind bar, the barricades and everything. But I think they did really good in 2. So especially comparing 2 to 1, and that's why I always, what I'm getting at is comparing 2's combat and their third person cover shooter to 1, it's really hard. So that's why I would have loved to have a Mass Effect 1 ground up remake. I understand it's extremely ambitious. They would have had to break this game. They wouldn't have been able to do a legacy, like a 3 games, all DLCs. They would have literally had to just do 1 game. And they have other things to take care of. So I completely understand why this isn't a ground up remake. I'm still happy this is happening. I'm still happy for those fans, that the people who never got to experience it. Seriously, play the Mass Effect trilogy. I cannot recommend that franchise enough.
Yeah, absolutely. And not to stay on the subject for too long, but when you talk about how the whole combat system changed in the second one, it's very evident, because even to this day, I remember like, Saren being the final boss in the first one, literally just any chance I got walking straight up to his face and just face shotting him every chance I got. You don't hide behind a cover or anything. You literally just run up to the guy and you just keep shooting him. So it's like, I can think about that perfectly in my head right now, and I'm like, they were 2 very different systems.
Definitely,
for sure.
And 2 and 3 are a little bit similar. 3, it was a little bit smoother, but I still like 2 more than 3's combats. It's super weird, but maybe it's just resonated more with me because I love 2. Now, the next question we have to ask, and this has anything to do with this, but what is your favorite Mass Effect?
I'm right with you, dude. It's the second one. It's not even because of the maybe like the difference in the combat system that you might have mentioned. It's the second one, just even compared to the first one, the second one just felt really personal. Like
Yeah.
the characters that you grew to know in Mass Effect 2 just felt so much. I was way more attached to those characters than anybody I was attached to in 3 or 1. I mean, 1 had some strong characters too, but
Mm-hmm.
2 is just it's just something entirely different. 2 felt it almost sounds weird, but 2 felt like it's just like this really distinctive Mass Effect game. Like it's totally different from the other 2 games, and you can tell there's something there that makes it very evident, you know?
Yeah. It's because in the first one and the second one, you're more aligned with like the Alliance and like the Spectre and everything, and the Council and everything. But 2 is like almost its own thing because you're presumed dead and you're with Cerberus now, and you're basically just helping out this like third party like mercenary group or whatever, but you're still trying to help out the galaxy and everything. So I think that's why it feels so standalone-ish from the other 2. But I 100% agree with you on the character aspects because I loved every single character, and I loved their introductions, and I loved their loyalty missions. Those loyalty missions were so well thought out, and like you are doing yourself a disservice by not playing those. Not only because you can lose people if you don't do those loyalty missions, but because the amount of content and the things you learn from these loyalty missions, just you get such a huge attachment to these characters that like it sounds ridiculous, but I genuinely loved every single one of these characters like on a personal level because it sounds dumb, but like you feel like you know them like
For sure.
just by these missions. And yeah, I obviously we can keep talking about Mass Effect all day. Final thoughts. Will you be getting this? Justin, will you be getting this?
I'm definitely getting it. I can't wait to return. I have a lot of games on the backlog already. It's primary. It's every gamer's problems. But I can't wait to go back to this world, even though it's not something like a completely new game or something different. Like I just want to. Nostalgia is a dangerous thing, right?
Yeah.
I want to go back in time and just relive that. Like so, I absolutely can't wait. And honestly, me being the completionist I am, I want to grab all those achievements. I want to just completely 100% every game. So yeah, I'm definitely getting it.
Yeah, I was on the fence about it just because it's hard when it comes to nostalgia because like a part of me is like I had that time, I like let that time be reminiscent, and I reminiscent on my own. Having to re-experience or wanting to re-experience that, it will never live up to that same amount of like nostalgic feel. So for me, in a way, it might feel disappointing, but at the same time, there is a lot of content in these 3 games that I didn't really get to experience, nor did I pay attention to a lot of like the side missions that I just kind of blasted through. I mean, you kind of opened my eyes when you were playing Cyberpunk that you were like literally doing all these side missions. I was like, you know what? I should try to do the same thing as well. And even though those didn't really pan out the way that we wanted them to, as far as like feeling satisfied by doing those side missions, I feel like I'd get more satisfaction by doing all the content that I can in a franchise that I love. So I will be getting this for sure, just so I can re-experience more content that I didn't get to experience in the first place.
Yeah, for sure. Because, well, like you said with Cyberpunk, like I literally did every possible thing in that game. I'm like one achievement away from 100%, and that's just one of the different endings, which I could just turn on and do right now. But
yeah,
but I did that full game, and it wasn't worth it. Like I didn't really discover a lot of things that were really cool. But in a game that is so rich in lore, like Mass Effect, it is entirely worth it. Without a doubt, it is worth it to explore every avenue of that game, and that's what drives me in playing video games in general. I don't do all these extra missions just for the sake of completion. Like I want to find out things that maybe other people who just gun it straight through the story won't end up knowing, like about a character's backstory or history or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Well, let me know if you guys are getting Mass Effect Legendary Edition in the comments below. Are you excited for this? Have you played Mass Effect? If you have, are you going to play it again? If you haven't, does this collection interest you? And have we sold you? I hope we did, because it's a fantastic franchise. Let me know in the comments below. Joining me now is your co-host, Aly Mayhem.
Hi.
Welcome. And joining us is
present.
A present. Yeah. So here at Power On Weekly and LXM Duo, we have something to share with all of you. And I guess the best way to share it is by opening up what's inside the box.
Opening up our Animal Crossing present.
Yeah. Don't worry. It's not
What's in the box?
Actually, that's a huge spoiler.
Well, we didn't say what it's from.
Yeah, that's true.
Although I did just do
So, Aly, what's in the box?
a surprise.
Surprise. So we have.
I'm gonna grab what's underneath here.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
We're
Surprise.
having a baby.
We're having a baby. Coming this August 2021, a new villager arrives at LXM Duo / Power On Weekly's family and joining our family.
We have our own DLC.
Yeah. We have our own DLC, yeah. We had our DIY recipe basically of making a baby. I'm so like not nervous, but just like I don't know, giddy and stuff. We've been keeping this for a secret for quite some time. We found out in December, and we are 13 weeks. Basically, we're in second trimester.
Beginning of second trimester.
So
we are 1/3 of the way there.
Yes. It's been really hard for me to keep this a secret from a lot of friends and stuff like that. But I'm super, super excited. Aly and I have been wanting to start a family for quite some time now. There she goes, modeling, yeah. And when we got married, we wanted to take our time and enjoy our time together. Mm-hmm. We traveled and we got to go to Japan and do a lot of things that we really wanted to do. And we decided now is a good time to start trying to have a family.
We'll be having the baby in August, which will be exactly 7 years after we started dating.
Yeah, actually,
Fun fact.
Uh-huh.
We started dating in 2014 in August.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've been together a while.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's about time. And I wanted to have babies before like 35.
Uh-huh.
Like, to be honest, it's like this is older than I initially wanted to have babies. But... Yeah. I told Irving, I was like, if we don't start now, we're not having them because I don't want to be an old ass lady chasing around some kids. But yeah, no, and like ironically with the pandemic and everything, I realize like now is probably the best time in the world to do it. We can't travel anymore even if we wanted to.
Yeah.
And it was something we had already talked about a year ago.
Yeah.
After our last trip to Japan, we said, oh, we should start trying, but we had some credit card debt and just some things we wanted to take care of first. Yeah. And just like with the pandemic, it's like I'm already not really able to work because of our job and the restrictions and everything. So we just figured like if I'm stuck at home anyways, like what a better time than to be a human incubator.
Yeah.
And like, and just start trying and start expanding our family while I have the time to be home and take care of myself and be home with the newborn. Because we've kind of also realized realistically, even if I wanted to go back to work, I probably have another year before the opportunities are actually going to be available. So yeah, it's just it's just like ironically everything turned out. The timing turned out right for everything. Like the pandemic was really scary at first and it was really stressful, but then it turned into like kind of a blessing in some ways for us and being able to start a family.
Yeah, definitely. We've talked about having, starting our family for a while, like you said, but the fact that it's like happening and it's real, it's so really overwhelming, and our families are so excited. Your mom is so excited. My mom is so excited. And we're really fortunate to have a lot of like family members who know already. We told them around like Christmas. I know it was a little early at that point to tell like our immediate family, but we were just too excited.
We couldn't keep it a secret.
Yeah, this has been the hardest, like the longest 3 months. Like you think like last year 2020 was long? Like these last 3 months have felt like the longest like ever.
I feel like I've been pregnant for 6 months. Like the 3 months like just dragged.
Yeah, and
like yeah, we just really wanted to wait until we were completely in a safe zone. Like, since I have never been pregnant and I didn't know what to expect. But yeah, it's been really hard. Like, not letting it slip or not saying
Yeah.
something to like
Yeah,
other people.
we have been pretty MIA for a lot of like our friends and like just I don't know. I feel like I've just been really like distant from a lot of people just because like, I'm afraid for it to slip. Now we got this really cute idea. Aly thought about this idea, and when she told me this, I basically was like, "Let's do it." And that that's why we have this, and that's why. And the reason why we have this is because we also got a cute little onesie. It's a matching onesie. We're not sponsored by Box Lunch, but oh my god, they have.
Oh, we got a little grass on it from the shoes.
Yeah, they have amazing things, and we're gonna lose our minds and money at Box Lunch just because they have a lot of cute like matching things and stuff. And today we just did our photo shoot with this. So if you are listening now, go check out our Instagram and our social media.
Or sometime today.
Yeah, sometime. Yeah, because
when this releases, I might still be asleep actually and have not released
we could do,
anything.
like a scheduled post or something.
Not for personal.
Oh,
It would have to be business.
okay. Then I'll release this episode when like later in the day. Anyways, just check our social
Today.
media and
It'll be out today.
you'll see our photos that we did. We got our good friend Carlo to help us out. And I thank you so much, Carlo. I know you don't watch the show, but like he did such a good job helping us, and
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
we really appreciate it because we were like, we just need somebody to take the photos.
Yeah, do good composition and then take
lighting.
some photos. And
Yeah.
I was like, we could do it with a tripod, and Irving was like, no.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and after like all the balloon and the wind today, I was like, oh yeah, no, that would have been really bad.
Yeah. Definitely go check out those photos. I think they were really cute, and
they're our technical announcement. Like they're technically our announcement.
Yeah.
If people happen to watch the show, though, you're getting,
you're getting a sneak peek. You're
getting a little more in depth about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like I said, Aly thought of this idea, and we actually made this box. We found a YouTube tutorial that was really easy to follow and help. The balloon though we got yesterday, and
Yesterday in the afternoon, and by the time we woke up, it was on the floor, like deflated. We were like,
it's like I had to go get another one right before the shoot. But
I was like, surely 24 hours is fine.
Yeah.
Don't get your balloons the day before, guys.
Mm-hmm.
At least we only got one. Imagine if we'd gotten like a ton.
Yeah.
That would have been sad.
Yeah, that would have been sad. But yeah, I think everything came out really cute as far as like the photos and stuff. So we're really excited. We just wanted to share this with you. I know it's not gaming. Well, it's kind of gaming related, but
Shit's gaming related.
yeah. But we we're really fortunate to have a lot of like friends and family, and especially like a lot of people in the community that we met through gaming and stuff like that. So we wanted to also embrace this with you guys and share this with you because I feel like we're family too. So I hope you guys enjoy this segment. I hope you're happy for us. Is there anything else you want to add?
Not really. I mean, we'll keep up to date a little bit here
Mm-hmm.
and there as things develop. Obviously, you'll see me just grow and explode. Yeah, and I mean, I guess we'll occasionally just do a few little updates on what's happening with.
Yeah. If you guys want to know some updates, like let us know. We can do like a little segment or something for the episode, or just follow us on.
Every once in a while, like maybe as things progress.
Yeah, just follow us on social media. Join our Discord as well, and we'll share some photos on there. But that's it for this week's episode of Power On Weekly. I want to thank Justin for joining me for the Mass Effect conversation. I really liked our conversation, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Let me know in the comments below whether you think it's a boy or a girl. I'm just kidding. And we will see you guys in the next episode. Take care, everybody. See you later. Bye.
Bye.